Hello, this is chapter 144 of The Flower of Freedom by Deborah J. Reeves. Please consider each one of these chapters a seed that we're planting in the process of establishing a virtuous cycle. Here we go. Please take your seat. You know the rules by now. Bring your good heart and your good intentions, and we will pour this story into your ears for the next 8 minutes or so. This is chapter 144, the second shoe drop. Bianca could not believe her ears. She started to sob quietly. Her mother came into the room, and she handed her father a sheaf of papers. She barely looked at her shrunken daughter. As I said, Bianca, your mother and I are at the end of our road with you. We will continue our own lives free of encumbrances. These papers will explain the provisions your grandparents on both sides made for you in their wills. When you turn 25, you can access a large sum of money each year. You are well provided for, so please do not contact us again. We cannot do it anymore. When the time comes, anything we have will go to your child. That is my final decision. He turned to his wife and he asked, "Did you do as I asked?" And Delilah nodded. Bianca, we've booked you a hotel room at the airport hotel, and we bought you a ticket back to Montreal. That's where you belong now. Go, do what's right. Your time with us is finished, permanently now. Turning again, he said, "Delilah, what time does her flight leave?" 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, Delilah said, looking out the window. She saw the lights of the taxi as it pulled into the driveway. Your taxi's here. Your passport is in your carry-on. It's time for you to go, her father declared. Bianca got up and she staggered toward the door. The cabbie knocked. Jacques opened the door and he handed him her bags. She's going to the airport hotel, he said, handing the cabbie money for the fare. Will that cover it? Jacques asked. Yes, sir, amply. Bianca walked out the door, picked up her shoes from the doorstep where the doorman must have left them, and she slid into the back seat of the cab. No one said goodbye. The cabbie put the bags into the trunk of the car, and then Delilah and Jacques closed the front door, and they started a new phase of their life, just as the cab, carrying Bianca, headed out of the driveway. Jacques did not say anything as he re-entered the house. He went directly upstairs, leaving Delilah to close up for the night. Delilah asked herself how they'd gotten to this point. There had been a whole lot of difficult moments with Bianca, but Jacques always seemed to know best. He used to know the right course of action. With Bianca, she had always doubted herself, but she never doubted Jacques' wisdom until this moment. Now she was all doubts, and the opportunity with her daughter was gone. Delilah thought back on how often Jacques had forbidden her from disciplining Bianca in any way. She remembered that her own mother had warned her not to marry Jacques. Delilah had ignored the stupid woman. Not marry Jacques? She would never get another opportunity like he represented. He was so suave, so cultured, so wealthy. She had proven her mother wrong with her long-enduring marriage. But then, there had been prices to pay. He had a wandering eye, but he always came home. there had been mistresses who came to the door to gloat. But Jacques got rid of those brazen ones in short order after they tried it. He had assured her that he had a weakness, but that it did not have to interfere with their family life if she would only understand his needs. He said there were things that the young women were willing to do that he did not want to sully her with, and she had seen the way he cherished her in his eyes. So she had turned a blind eye to his frequent dalliances, reassuring herself that she was the one he truly loved. In a worst-case scenario, Bianca had been the one in the house when the mistress had arrived. The first one tried to entice Bianca to go with her, and Bianca had shaken her silky curls, and she'd run upstairs to get away from the woman. It seemed to Delilah that speaking to Bianca was the deadly sin that killed any affection that Jacques had for the woman, and she was gone from his life that same day. Bianca was watching from the top of the stairs when the next one came to the door. Neither Delilah nor the woman realized that Bianca was standing there watching until she began to laugh. The sound was so disturbing that the woman looked up at the same time Delilah did, and Bianca stuck her tongue out at the woman. Or maybe it had been at Delilah. She could never be sure. The next time it happened, Bianca was the one who answered the door. The woman leaned in closely to speak to Bianca, and then Bianca pulled back. She ushered the woman to the salon, and she invited her to sit. As she turned to leave, she told the woman, "Get in line. You're the third to come here, and they're all gone, and we're still here. You will never get him, you know. He belongs to me. He's my daddy. I'm his flesh and blood, and he belongs to me. I'll call my mother for you, though. She knows what to do with trash like you." Jacques had spoken to Bianca that night to set her straight about the relationships between men and women. He informed her that there were wives and there were mistresses, but only the wife and the daughter really mattered. Family above everything, Jacques had said. He assured her that all would be well. When she asked if she had to be a girl, Jacques told her that yes, she had to be a girl, but that she was more than a girl. She was a princess, and he was the king. Bianca seemed well pleased by that, but her wild behavior began shortly after that. When Delilah had tried to correct her when she was little, she often said, "But I don't want to be a lady. I'm a princess. Papa says so." After that, she would just laugh and ignore her mother. Before Delilah's mother died, she had warned Delilah, "You've lost that battle. That child knows that she has more leverage than you do. Your father is doubtful about leaving our estate to her. He's worried about giving her the means to do more harm to the world." In the end, though, they had left their fortune to Bianca. Thank goodness they did. Now at least the girl had the means to make her own way in the world. Delilah went back inside, into the salon, and she found a blood stain on the yellow silk sofa. "That girl," Delilah thought. "She has no dignity at all. It's way past time for this to be behind us." That's the end of chapter 144, and the sad way families can dissolve. We thank you for coming. We hope that you water the seeds of the virtuous cycle and that it begins to bear fruit in your own life. I remain your friend Deborah. Bye bye.